right, so update on those cars I looked at last week's video, the Camaro and the Corvette. I did come to agreement on a price with the lady on the Camaro. She originally wanted $10,000. I got her all the way down to $2,500, but then no title on the Camaro. So I checked the VIN. It's not stolen or anything, but it's out of the system, which means a state patrol inspection. And I've been trying for 2 years for the Aston and can't get one. So I'm not getting myself into another project like that. And that Corvette, man, that thing was just hammered. There's no way I was buying that. But today we're going out to the swap meet in Puyallup, the air-cooled swap meet, Volkswagen stuff. I've got a Volkswagen transport van out back in my shop. It's been out there a couple of years. It's a project for a customer. He paid me up front, which I do not like people paying me all the money up front, because then 2 years later, I'm now having to spend my money to buy the parts for this thing. But it was during the pandemic. He understood that it was going to be 2 years before I could get to it, because if you want me to do a project for you, that's how far out I'm booked. So we are going to find some missing engine parts that hopefully we can find at the swap meet, and maybe some other cool shit too. All right, so we are at the Puyallup Fairgrounds, or Western Washington Fairgrounds, at the annual air-cooled swap meet. We're gonna see what they have. Hopefully they have some good stuff here. This is basically what I've got with the crank and the rods. I need the heads and the jugs. I saw this one go another road the other day up in Issaquah. I don't know, I like it, but it looked so much better in concept. It looked more like a Volkswagen Bus in the concept than it does like a minivan here. So I'm no stranger to air-cooled Volkswagens. I've done a number of them throughout the years. Carmen Ghia, several Beetles, the Baja. I love them. I've definitely got a soft spot in my heart for them. They're easy to work on, and you know, you can really customize them and make them reflect your personality without doing anything wrong, without having purists breathe down your neck. You know, and they're cheap and easy, and for anybody just getting into cars and getting into the collector car market, it's a really, really good price point to start at. Easy to learn. That'd fit my Baja.
Oh, mirror?
Yeah. You know, I've debated doing the yellow on the headlights on the Aston just like this. I don't know if I should or not. I guess it'll always peel off if I don't like it, right? I like mine better. The swap meet portion is really lacking. Very disappointed. I thought for sure I could find the parts I need here, but I don't think I'm going to. Prices at these swap meets are way better than like the muscle car stuff. Muscle car and drag race guys all think their shit is expensive, but this stuff's pretty reasonable. Oh my God. I went to Pacific Raceways last year. Everybody's garbage they want like 3 times retail for. But no, this stuff's everything here is pretty reasonable. It's cute. Every one of these engines that I see here is missing everything I need, which may explain why they were stolen out of the van. I got a customer's van at my shop, took their engine to machine shop, had it rebuilt, because it had all the pieces in their van. Had a guy that was gonna put it back together for him. He let it sit for like a year, didn't do anything. They brought the van to me and it's missing the jugs and the pistons and the heads. I don't know, I got the casting numbers on the block. It's a 73. Everything I see is missing the parts that I need. Well, I've walked through all of the swap meet stuff and nobody has what I need. So I guess we can just look at some cars and get some scones. It's gonna be sad if I came all the way down here and the only thing I get is a dozen scones. Thank you much. At least I got something. Purchase your tracks today. That's pretty sick. I don't know a whole lot about the newer Volkswagen stuff, but I know it's cool when I see it. Damn, I really thought I could find what I needed. That's pretty cool. there's a style for everyone. That's not my personal taste, but I mean, well, I struck out. Not totally, I got Fisher scones, but mostly I struck out. But that's okay, so a lot of cool cars. You know, one of the really cool things about the Volkswagen community is most of the people that are doing it on a budget, and none of it's show quality. All the cars are unique to their owners. There's no wrong way to do something if people aren't judgmental, like the Bentley community, most of the Aston Martin community. But Volkswagen people in general are pretty cool, and a lot of unique takes on cars down here. Really nice to see. Also, people are really fair on their parts prices. They realize what they have. Not like the drag race guys that think everything they have that's 40 years old is worth what they paid when it was new. Well, back to the drawing board. I guess I gotta get online and see where I can find these parts. So we struck out at the swap meet, but I figured I'd show you guys the project vehicle we're working on. This is a customer's. They brought this in 4 or 5 years ago during the pandemic. Now, it was supposed to be, they had had their engine reworked at a machine shop, took it to somebody to have it rebuilt. The guy sat on it for like a year, didn't do anything. They got it back, brought it to me. It was missing pieces, the pistons and the jugs and the cylinder heads. So when I went to the swap meet this weekend, that's what I was looking for. They did have the block machined, so I do have the case and I do have the crank. And as bad as it looks, it's just surface rust. The bearings are all still really good. So this is the motor we'll be putting back together. Now, I did tell this customer up front that it would be a couple of years before I was able to get to it, just because of the amount of project stuff that we have. So this is it. This is the van, and as bad as it looks, we're only doing a mechanical restoration to it. We're just doing the engine, basically getting it running and driving again. I'll go through the brakes. But I think what I'm gonna try and do, I'm gonna try and polish this paint out for them and see if I can maybe do a little something for them, just because the length of time that I've had it. Yeah, I mean, not one of our more exciting projects, but something that we do. Another Volkswagen. This is my late little sister's. Her son is 12, and my little sister loved this car. And so as he gets a little older, my dad and I are gonna do this one up for him. So when he turns 16, this will be like brand new. But for now, here's the bus. And that's it.